After putting 5 maps together, one of the maps is from 1882 and it shows how there's a reserve road coming down this specific area, starting the other side of the Snowy River and then traversing down all the way through to the Snowy River Way. Now, in regard to access, the Snowy River always flowed, and then in 1967 they dammed the Snowy River, which allowed access to then come through Werralong Road, which is just here. So you come along Werralong Road, so we'd ford the Snowy River. Now we purchased Waterford in 1988, and that's how we would access the Snowy River, access our properties. So Waterford and part Waterford were accessed like that. Tomagaddy was only purchased 10 years ago by Alex Jr. Now, that's the way we used to come through the Snowy River. And then 5 years ago, when the snow releases were starting to get more prominent, we couldn't ford the Snowy River with a 2-wheel drive vehicle for about 9 months of the year. As, it's great to see the environmental releases, but it's affected our access. Now, because we've been using this specific access here along Werralong Road, we didn't access our property. Well, we used to come in through Ben and Kitty Rose's, through Beloco Creek, and then we'd, traverse up through the centre, and then we'd get to Waterford. It was never a problem because that's the way everybody did it for 100 years. Now, up until recently, I haven't realised that there is a reserve road that actually runs from the bottom all the way through here, up and across the Snowy River to the other side, near Avonside Road there. Now, I would say that years ago they were planning, because the river was so high, they've got a reserve going to happen here. The river's been high, so they're going to build something like a Dalgety Bridge coming across here and then going down here and coming out the other end of the Snowy River Way. But because the dam came along, there was no water coming here, so access became Werralong Road. That's why we got such an issue with Werralong Road, because that reserve road was going to be where it was going to be. This is just what I'm assuming, but I would say that this is the case. So this is, Now, when you look at Google Maps and Google Earth, you will find that they don't actually show any form of that reserve road. I've actually drawn this red line in to show this. So for a long time now, we've been thinking we don't have access. Sorry, I'm moving from map to map here because it's taken me 5 maps to work this. So here we are. This is a map from Crown Lands that they have issued us because they wanted to close some roads. Now, Kitty Rose, who used to own Beloco down here, she said to me in 2011, look, she said, Ingrid, I don't want those roads closed because I know that that is your access. And she actually signed a carriageway so that I could come through to come to my property, which is just here. So I was never concerned about the fact that we didn't have any access. And as you can see clearly on this map, there is no sign whatsoever of our reserve road, which, let me take you back to the other map, which is right here, coming from this map. Where am I here? Coming from this map here. So we're looking at this. So what I did when I discovered, okay, we've got a reserve road. Now, Ron Barrett for a long time has been, from portion 152, has been trying to get access to his land. And when we look at this map here, we can see that just here there's a missing link for the Crown Roads. So you could come off here and go up here and go here and here and here and here, but then you get to there and there's a missing link, so we don't actually have access. My solicitor told me that 22 years ago I didn't have access. Where should I search, he said, up or down, and I accepted the fact that Park Waterford may not have access, so I never worried. Anyway, so Ron Barrett has been searching for access for a long time now, and he gave me this map, or young Alex gave me this map via Ron Barrett from his solicitor. Now, I never thought anything of it because I just looked at it and I thought, oh yeah, there's a reserve road there, but I didn't think much of it. And then I got that about 2 months ago, and then I received on Monday this map and this map again in the mail, and I thought, well gee, why am I getting these two maps? Because they've come from a solicitor, they must mean something. So that night I thought, I'm going to get onto Google Earth and I am going to religiously track every single piece of that map. But you can't get one single map to come up and then be able to see the portion numbers. So I had to map this one together. So it's a real schmozzle. You can see I've stuck all these bits of paper together everywhere. But anyway, I came up with the whole big picture. So that enabled me to draw this one. Sorry. So here it is here. Now what I've done is I'm showing you clearly, and this is the map that I have taken from Google, six maps, not Google Earth. I looked at Google Earth too, they also don't show the reserve road. Anyway, this comes from 6 maps, and you can clearly see that, well, I've drawn in the reserve road now. Now the reserve road comes down here, but it's impassable, right? It's, you know, it's not a road that we're going to go on because it was never pursued. We're talking, you know, 130 years ago. They put a track straight up through the centre here. But my point is that I've drawn this map now, and this reserve road here gives us the link that we need to go home. So it shows that we actually have a link coming through this spot here. This is where the missing link here that we always thought we didn't have access. But because our reserve road comes down here, down there, 120, here, then you can go that way there and you're on the Snowy River Way here. It's taken many hours to actually work this out. But that's the big picture by going back to the old maps, the Crown Road maps, and 6 maps. And my assumption, well, not my assumption, this is what it's about, is the reserve road and the Crown Roads were never married, and that's why we haven't had any access. So anyway, this is now the latest map, which we need to work out how we can come through the land down here. So we need to negotiate with Glyn and Trini Owen to have a look at the true access. We can come in, this is the Snowy River Way. We can go via the Crown Road here. There's another Crown Road just there, which follows it up. We can go up the creek, which is also designated Crown, and up to there. This section of creek is pretty arduous. We could actually keep on going up there, which would join to our road, and that would keep off the centre of the property. Or we can go along here, for here. Now you do have to put a crossing here across the Boloco Creek. And then over here, up here, and then that will take you home. Now this is the section here that's missing, but the Crown Road, the reserve road is there. The other way to come in is over here on the side. You've got your Snowy River Way, and you can come in here at the side here, follow this up, and then into the centre and take us home. Now you wouldn't have a Boloco Creek to cross there, but whether that's an accessible way to come in is another question. I did look at the reserve road and coming in here on Google Earth and the maps, and it all looked pretty rough. And there's no track there really for that. Well, I don't think there is. I haven't driven it. I've only looked at it from the computer. So that's the deal there. Like I'm not even sure who owns this land here. I'm only going on the maps that I have, and it's really only what concerns us in regard to access by coming in from the Snowy River Way and then going up along here to here, following it through. We could, go here along that way and go there, or we can negotiate with, whatever works with our neighbours to access the land. I know we don't want a carriageway, going through here, or we want to be able to get to our land, or we need to get to our land. We can force an easement to come through there if need be. Okay, so that's coming through there, and by the look of it, with the reserve road and the Crown Road, that should work. Now, the other way that we've been coming through here recently is Snowy River Way, and then we've been heading up Rangeview Road. And the usual track we would take was Rangeview Road or down Tranquility Lane, and then we would venture down through portion 11, which is Dean Wright's place, and then we'd come out onto portion 112, owned by Jason Fong, and then we traverse down there, back onto Jason's place, and cross the Boloco Creek into our property. Now, about 12 months ago, this gate just here on my border was locked. So, and the Cooma Mayor even tried to negotiate that we could come through there, but that was the access that's been used for 150 years has been locked, or stopped. So then I tried to pursue coming down here, or Matt Holloway from Crown Lands said that we needed to buy an application to come across this Crown Land section here. Now I did that, and then I'd like to use, because there's a set of double gates just here, I'd like to use that, come down, use the existing trap, go down there, and then get down to the Boloco Creek, and there's gates in place, and then cross the Boloco Creek, and we would be home. But it's not a Crown Road. The Crown Road is here, but this specific Crown Road is very arduous, and the track has lots of trees and gullies. I've walked it. I've walked this area 4 different times, so I understand the access side of things. When Gary Shakespeare came to view this, he says, Ingrid, you're going to have to pursue the carriageway coming across Glen Owens, or used to be Roses, and he says, that is your access, and it clearly does show that this is our access. So yeah, this is where we stand now with all this. I hope you understand. The thing is that 9 months of the year you can't get in through the Snowy River now with the Werrolong Road. I have I'll talk about that in my next video. I'll get some more charts out and things and show you about the Snowy River crossing. But just recapping, these are the old maps. We've got the Snowy River here, Waterford, which is 38, 39, 22. Then we have Tomagaddy, which is 40 and 110. and myself, which is, what have we got? 91, 111 and 14. So there are 3 properties that can't be accessed, and portion 152, which is Ron Barrett. So really it's 4 properties here that, because of this missing link with the Crown Road, have not been able to access their land. It's only that this specific map came into my hands from Ron Barrett's solicitor that shows that there's a reserve road. So then I married the maps, which is Google Maps. Took 6 maps to get this off Google, and then I coloured in this specific map, which this is your Google map, and I have shown you everything on that map. Now it clearly shows the Snowy River Way, the Snowy River, the track in use for Waterford, Tomagaddy and Part Waterford, Willoco Creek, Waterford portions, Tomagaddy, Part Waterford and your Crown Reserve roads. It also shows you your different neighbours, Rebecca, Trini, Jason Fong and Crown Lands. So here's our Crown Land here, and that's the Crown Road coming in. This is the existing track that was used for 150 years, which has been locked off. And I have written also to Jason and to Dean many letters for the last 12 months and to Nova. So, as I say, Gary Shakespeare had a look at this. It's with Crown Lands. So then we are pursuing now, well, once I found out that this is actually a reserve road, which goes all the way up here. It's the missing link here, which shows you here. That's that missing link. Well, now that I've drawn that line, which is the reserve road, coming all the way up there, back over to here, and over the Snowy River. So there it is there. Thank you.